Welcome back. It's your partner, Hemi Amir. And I just realized, you see that light right there? It fell. It belongs up there with the rest of them, but it fell. I'm gonna have to fix that. I don't like it like that. See, this one is all the way by the. I don't know if you can see the plug down there, but it's hooked up to the plug. So I had no, I had no choice. Anyway, I'm not trying to brag about the house. I'm just that light. I gotta get that situated. All the other ones are doing pretty. That's neither here or there. Of course, you can tell by the title that I want to talk about something serious. All right. The other day, I got started on the video. Well, actually, I did the whole video with my son in the car, and I was hinting at things and not really saying anything because, like I said, I had my son in the car. But I felt like it was okay. But let's get out of this censorship thing. Only do it for my son. So we're all adults here, so let's talk about it. The reason why I'm bringing it back up and I'm doing it uncensored is because of something I keep saying on Instagram and on the news. What they want to do, they want to put a ban on things, all right? But they're not talking about what will happen if you put a ban on law-abiding citizens. Things will get worse. 100% guaranteed it will get worse. Of course, they lied and said things got tremendously worse uh, when the ban. Well, there was once a weapons ban, but that expired. And you know what? And there was a slight increase in mass shootings, but it was going to happen anyway. Whether the ban ended or not, an increase was going to happen. So that's that's false information that people get putting out. So the thing, like I said, they're talking about a high capacity weapons ban, meaning rifles, AR-15s, FMP90s, if that's considered a P. I want a P90 so bad. Uh, the scars, what's the of course everybody's favorite, the street sweep. I don't even like those AK-47s. I don't even like AK-47s, man. Yes, I understand why people like them, but I understand why I don't like them. All right, do your research. Um, but they're trying to do a ban on these weapons. Now, when you do something like that, if you do something like that, things will only get worse because you're putting the ban on law-abiding citizens. And guess who's getting these weapons? Criminals. They always find a way. All right. Like let me tell you what Canada is doing. They're using America as an example of why they should take away pistols from people that already own them or people that want to own them. They want to take it away. All right. They're trying to use America. But what they're not using is other countries like Mexico, where it's already illegal. But guess who gets them? Criminals. Even in Canada, you think criminals don't have pistols? Yes, they do. Uh, in the UK, you think criminals don't have pistols? Yes, they do. There was a shooting. Look, they don't, they don't like to advertise this or whatever, but there are shootings in the UK. All right, and more than shootings, guess what else they do? Mass stabbings. All right, this is they they somebody takes a knife and starts stabbing people. You know what I mean? And it happens a lot in the UK. It's illegal to have a pocket knife there, but guess what they do? They have knives. Is it illegal to have a pocket knife or a certain kind of knife? You know what? Don't give me 100% on that, but it's something like that. Just like New York, you can't even have a knife. It seemed like to defend yourself. But it still happens. There's shootings, stabbings, and all kinds of stuff in New York, and it's damn near illegal to live there. Now, I want to talk about the school, but I have to get these things off my chest first. Um, I was talking about stabbings. I want to talk about the schools too. So let's talk about this thing, that people are missing. Yes, it happened. All right, and my heart goes out to these are children. It shouldn't happen to children. It shouldn't happen to adults, but it to me, children's Kids are off. You're not supposed to do that. All right, they're off limits. All right, you don't do it. Anyway, so of course, that very next day after Uvalde, there was a shooting in, I think it was South Carolina. I'm not quoting the whole story correctly, but what happened, I will give you a little piece of it. South Carolina, a guy was acting crazy in the parking lot. He took off after they asked him to leave. He came back with a rifle, start shooting at the place. A person, a law-abiding citizen, with the pistol, took him out. All right, he was acting real sleepy, so they went on ahead and gave him an exit strategy. So, so excuse me, they gave him a sleeping pill. That's what I meant to say. He was acting sleepy. They went on ahead and gave him a sleeping pill. Boom. So, of course, that doesn't make the news like the Uvalde, and it should have, but they don't like telling the truth, truth like that. Um, and then, as of today, when I'm doing this, um, there was a mass stabbing in California. A guy went in the hospital and started stabbing people. All right, but it made the news, but it's not a weapon. It's not a excuse me. It's not a firearm. All right, so it's not going to hit like everything else, but it will hit. Because they're trying to say that. Uh, you know, I don't know what they're trying to say, but it's hitting because it's happening too often, and I understand that part. But taking everybody else's right to defend themselves, it's going to happen even more. That's my point. That's my point. Now let's get into how I feel we could have prevented this. All right. Um, and before I get into how we could have prevented this, the, I already said, taking weapons away, firearms away from law-abiding citizens is a no-go. Things will only get worse. Let me tell you the second thing you should not do. All right, you shouldn't arm teachers. You should not arm educators. Yes, there are some good educators, but that is few and very far between. I do not have a good track record with educators throughout my life until I got into college. College, it got a lot better for me. High school, it let me tell you, worse. All right. Uh, the middle school, ugh. Elementary school, let me tell you, them women treat your kids like crap. All right, and then the women in middle school treat your kids like crap, and then the women in high school treat your kids like crap, and not just the women in high school, the male teachers also in high school. High school just gets worse. Let me give you a story of why educators should not be armed, and this is high school. When you think that the educators figured out, you growing with these kids, we gotta, and there are crazy kids out there that deserve the, hands, but there are way too many kids that don't deserve what these educators are doing. All right, let me tell you something. There are a lot of women touching these boys, and a lot of well, not so, and men, touching these girls. All right, not just that. I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And then not just that, you know, they do things to instigate physical contact and then play victims. I've seen it too many times while I was in high school. So I do not trust educators. Let me tell you a story of what happened. A friend of mine, and I'm trying not to give I'm not trying to put her name out there. I will give her her gender away. She is a female, excuse me, is a female, a girl, a woman. Yes, fact. If you know what I mean. But she she fell asleep in class. Now everybody knows everybody. Every time I told this story to somebody, they all said the same thing. As soon as I said she fell asleep, because we all been through this of what they do, and you've probably said it too. If you know what I'm about to say, say it out loud or put it in the comment section. But she fell asleep. What do educators do when you fall asleep, especially in our community? What do they do? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If y'all said that, what I'm about to say, yes, you're correct. Absolutely right. That's what she did. But let me tell you what she should have did. What she should have did was either written her up, all right, and send her to ISS or something like that. Uh, she should have, hey, you're sleeping here. Get up. This. You should have had enough sleep at home and this, that, and the other. Talk your little crap like you always do. That's what you should have did. But this is an educator, our community educator, the absolute worst kind. So she's an educator, and she slams a book on the desk. Everybody said that, right? I know everybody said that, but from my angle, I wasn't too 100% sure at the time, but it looked like she hit her a little bit too. Like she was trying to get extra close to it. And at this school, we had separate desks. So, and, we're all small there, so we didn't take up that much room on the desk. But she slammed that book on the desk. It was super loud. It's basically sound like, somebody was like pop, pop, pop throughout this, but it only was one time. So she got up and she looked at her, like where I thought she got hit at. She looked and she looked at her like she was about to like she was about to sleep her, right? Like I just knew she was about to flatline her. But what she did was she just got up and left the classroom. She did the right thing right there. I'm gonna be honest with you. In the state of Georgia, she had every right to defend herself, don't matter who it is. But she left. All right, I would have did something different. You know what I mean? I don't care who it is. I would have did something different. But she left, and I commend her for doing that. But the thing was, she came back to the school, and she was about to, you know what I'm saying, put them hands on her. But her brother stopped her. You know what I mean? He did the right thing, and then she ended up getting in trouble for what happened. And then I later found out that she was hit by the book. You know what I mean? Um, what? So, like I said, she ended up getting in trouble, but the educator did not get in any kind of trouble. They didn't do any kind of investigation. They didn't look into it. They didn't ask anybody in the classroom because doing something like that, you don't do something like that. It don't matter if she was asleep. That's assault. All right, and that's what these teachers do. They instigate and play victims. No, I don't want that. Definitely not around my son. But my partner said, you know what I mean? Some of these teachers, and I do agree with them, some of these teachers, if they feel like they could take on the task and they're good people, I commend them. Do it. You know what I mean? But don't have too many, especially, I don't want to sound sexist, but, it comes out like that. I know it does, but I'm speaking from experience. This is a long video, and I'm so sorry, and I'm talking throughout it because this is important to me. Now, let me tell you how this could have been prevented and still can be prevented if we implement one of these. Now, there's three of them. All right, the first 2 points, or kind of, the first point is an idea that's already in place, but not at every school. Second idea is my idea, and I actually love my idea. But the third idea is my partner's idea, and I actually love his idea more than mine. I love my idea, but my partner, he basically piggybacked off mine, and I agree with him 100%. So the first idea, of course, um, in major cities like where I'm from, Atlanta, and even into these counties surrounding, they have something called SROs, student resource officers. Now, what they need to do is take some of these student resource officers and put them actually in the school. That's what it should have been. There should have been a student resource officer at that school. No cowards working at these police departments. Also, you know what? I gotta go into this now. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. I've worked and been around some excellent police officers. I've been around some crappy ones too, but I lately I've been around some excellent organizations. I did an internship at this in the county I'm at now, and I love their organization. I mean, these guys are phenomenal. All right, Um, I work with, when I did armed security, I got to work with Fulton County Sheriff's deputies. Oh, excellent guys. I worked with APD officers. Some of them were great. Some of them I have, I, I question. All right. I question why, but some of them were great. Others were like, so we get, so what they need to do is, the reason why I was saying this is because the Uvalde Police Department, they dropped the ball. All right. Not only did they drop the ball, the they got some horrible officers. All right. If you're that much of a coward to do your job, you need to go. All right. And then the 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 the, the department is not, um what is it? It's not complying. It's not cooperating with the Texas Rangers. See, the Texas Rangers is like the highest law in the land there in Texas. It's like Georgia. GBI is the highest law of the land. All right, they conduct investigations into police departments and sheriff's departments, and they're the ones that have the one. I mean, they like the FBI. It's almost like they're federal, but they're Georgia. They're state, and the highest law in the state of Georgia. So Texas Rangers are the highest law. And now, when you're not complying with law enforcement, the highest law, that shows that your whole department is complete. What's the thing people like to say? Of course, there are police departments that have bad apples. I don't agree with that, because police departments that have bad apples, you tend to get rid of them. Police departments that keep bad apples are horrible police departments. That's a horrible police department. All right. So what they needed to do is not hire any cowards or bad apples or this, that, and the other. That whole system needs to be revamped, and they need to learn how to protect the community. All right. And it starts with those children. All right. I went on a rant there, and I'm not sure if you guys completely was understood what I was saying, if you were tracking anything. If you're not tracking, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get it all off my head, and I'm still running at a high time. Um, my idea was, so SRO thing, student resource officers, they need to be students, police officers at every school. That's my thing. I mean, that's the first thing, and that's the thing they need to stand strong on and figure out a way to do that. All right, and they don't need to be even any kind of cowards. And somebody that's uh, uh about to retire, so they don't care what happens. You know what I'm saying? Don't need that. All right. The second idea, my idea, I said, let's take some veterans, whether they be combat veterans or not, the ones that are getting compensation from the VA. Let's say they're getting at least 70% on up. All right. So these guys have time to work at a school and not get paid. All right. You know what I mean? They have time to, they're basically volunteering, and it becomes legal for these guys to protect these students. All right. I'm talking about kindergarten and middle school. High school, if you're dealing with combat veterans and you're dealing with some stupidity, I'm not saying they will shoot anybody, but they will flip somebody and teach them manners. All right. And you know how parents are sometimes. You teach their kids manners that they need to know, then they flip out, and you don't teach my kids manners. Trust me, I've seen it too many times, doing armed security. Uh, but that was my idea, and I stand by my idea. My partner is not happy with that, Dwayne Wayne, and I understand why he's not, but I still stand by it, and I still think that's a strong idea, no matter what. All right, you put some veterans there, combat veterans or not, they'll get the job done. Let somebody start walking up with a rifle. You know what we do? I promise you, man. Our training is different. All right, we look. All right, I'm not gonna do that to you. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. But our training is different and real. Anyway, let's move on to my to the third idea, and this is my partner's idea, and I feel like this is the best idea, and it is. I like it better than my idea. You put the National Guard or reserves, weekend warriors at these schools. All right. Instead of a weekend a month, let's get them a week. All right. And I don't mean 5 business day week. I mean 7 days. You do your training on the weekend and then you go to a school. All right. You go to a school that you're assigned to for Monday to Friday. All right. You do your Saturday and Sunday, and then you move to a school from Monday to Friday. And then that's your week out of the month. All right. That's my pop's idea, and I love that idea. All right, is I love it. It makes complete sense. You dealing with soldiers that are trained, really trained. All right, I don't care what nobody says. I like my idea too. The number two idea, you know, I'm gonna tell you something. My partner was Dwayne Wayne said, "Well, you gotta worry about some of these soldiers having PTSD," and I had to tell him, kids are therapy. You dealing with kids that just smile for no reason, just laughter and stuff like that. They're therapy. So that's why I said elementary school and middle school, and when it comes to high school, I don't know about that. You know what I mean? But elementary school and middle school, I'm definitely with it. All right. But the third idea is actually the best idea, and I want you guys to tell me which idea you like best. One, the SRO thing, which is already sort of implemented throughout the United States. Two, my idea with the veterans, combat veterans, or three, I don't know why I count like that, or three, the the weekend warriors. And my partner said I probably didn't explain the weekend warrior one very well, but my partner said you put some of these weekend warriors on because a lot of I'm gonna be honest with you. I know some weekend warriors that don't actually have a job. They get paid to do their weekend warrior thing. You get paid by the government, but there's some of them that actually don't have a job. So, and there's some that have part-time jobs, and there's some that have full-time jobs. So, you know, and then the way things go, you you they have to give you that time off for you to do your duty to these United to for this United States. They have to give you that time off. They can be mad all they want to, but they can't. It, of course, there shouldn't be anything they can do to you, but you know how jobs are. Anyway, man, like I said, man, I love these ideas. One, two, or three, and I think three is the best idea. But I like two is my idea. And they trying to do a weapons ban, and there was just a mass stabbing. Bruh, don't let them take your rights away. Look, fight for your rights. Look, man, let me go ahead and ease up out of here, man. I just wanted to talk to y'all real fast and see what your ideas were. And let me know which one you like. Like, I'm gonna keep on saying that until y'all post. All right. So like, comment, share, subscribe, and browse, man. You already know what it is when I switch hands with the camera. As you were.